Once again, we don't need to agree. All what I say you can put under your shoes. All what I say you don't need to believe.
Puteți să călcați pe ceea ce am spus, puteți să puneți sub picioare, nu trebuie să credeți în ceea ce spun eu.
But I believe
dar eu cred
that whatever job we are in,
indiferent de jobul pe care trebuie să-l facem,
if we make the love visible in that job,
dacă reușim să facem iubirea vizibilă în jobul pe care îl facem,
that job turns out in art.
Atunci jobul devine artă, se transformă în artă.
So now I'm helping a doctor in Holland.
Acum acasă
A doctor.
ok, tocmai ajut un doctor.
She is one of the best doctors in Holland for children.
Este for children?
For children, copie.
Ok, este una din cele mai renumite pediatre din Olanda.
In Holland there are 1 million children. 1 million.
În Olanda există 1 milion de copii.
We have only 17 million people.
La un raport de 17 milioane de oameni.
But there are 1 million children sick. Chronicle.
1 milion de copii bolnavi cronic.
Now we go to integral vision.
Acum ne îndreptăm spre o viziune integrală.
Because what is chronic disease in Holland?
Ce este boala cronică în Olanda?
Child have a disease, have a pain, have something.
Un copil are o problemă medicală, o durere, ceva.
And the doctor start to look.
Doctorul începe să îl consulte.
For instance, the child have pain in stomach.
De exemplu, dacă doare stomacul.
They look at the stomach. Yes, pain is here, so they look at the stomach.
Se uită la stomac, acolo unde e localizată durerea.
They look 3 months and they measure, they look, they try everything at the stomach.
Timp de 3 luni se fac măsurători, se verifică stomacul pe toate părțile.
They don't see anything wrong in the stomach.
Evident, nu se găsește nimic rău în stomac.
And they say, sorry to the parents, but your child will always have a problem in the stomach. We can't help. He is chronicle ill. This is not a joke. This is for camera.
No, for real.
Ne pare rău, copilul dumneavoastră va avea mereu această problemă cu stomacul, noi nu știm ce să-i facem, nu descoperim nimic.
So
și asta nu e o glumă.
So this doctor I'm supporting now.
Deci, această doctoriță pe care o ajut,
she could have been a student of Florin.
Ar fi putut să fie student al lui Florin.
Because she looked at a bit more than just the stomach.
Pentru că nu se oprește doar la a se uita la stomac.
She's even so clever, she know that if a young child have pain in the stomach,
este suficient de inteligentă încât să știe că dacă un copil are o durere la stomac,
it doesn't matter where the problem is, the child always feels it in the stomach.
De fapt, nu contează unde are copilul o problemă, mereu aceasta se reflectă în stomac.
So it can be a problem in the ear.
Deci s-ar putea să fie o problemă la ureche.
But you feel the pain as a child in the stomach.
Dar ca și copil, durerea o resimți în stomac.
And the only thing what she does,
și singurul lucru pe care ea îl face,
listen to the child, really listening,
este să îl asculte cu adevărat pe copil.
Give full attention.
Acordându-i atenție totală.
Yeah. It's difficult for doctors.
Destul de dificil pentru un doctor.
In Holland you have 7 minutes for a patient. And
durata consultației pentru un pacient în Olanda se reduce la 7 minute.
And you need about 3.5 minutes for all the papers.
Din care 3 minute și jumătate ai nevoie pentru toată
I'm sorry, I'm not joking.
birocrația.
I wish I was joking. But she's not worried about that time. She is there in the moment. She feels. She look.
Dar ea nu este îngrijorată despre această durată, ci este acolo ca să simtă, să privească, să asculte.
And then she make a diagnosis. Hey, it's the problem with the ear. It's a problem at school. It's a problem with your parents. It's a problem with your leg.
Și reușește să pună un diagnostic foarte clar dacă problema este de la ureche, de la părinți, de la picior sau din altă parte.
So what I consider as so important, I feel maybe there might be a connection tonight here, is to have a holistic view on every problem. Holistic view, is it true or not? Yeah, you like it?
Ceea ce consider foarte important este ca întotdeauna să avem o abordare holistică asupra problemelor, să le privim în întregul lor și nu localizat pe locul unde se manifestă durerea.
And then come Romania, the case of Romania.
Și acum să trecem la România.
I think you are fortunate.
Cred că sunteți niște norocoși, niște privilegiați.
I live in Cluj-Napoca.
Eu locuiesc aproape de Cluj.
And I did some business there.
Am avut ceva afaceri acolo.
I won't tell you the story here because it's on tape.
Da, nu e momentul să povestesc asta aici.
I can tell you, I got to know your politicians.
Dar pot să vă spun că am ajuns să-i cunosc pe politicienii voștri.
I've never been afraid in my life, but it happened in Romania doing business.
În viața mea nu mi-a fost frică, dar în România, în timp ce am făcut
I got threatened and I don't know, I won't go there.
Mi s-au întâmplat multe.
But for instance, I don't know if you know, but in Cluj-Napoca, there is the border between Russia and America atmosphere.
Nu știu dacă știți, dar în Cluj-Napoca s-a simțit atmosfera de graniță dintre ruși și americani.
And I won't go in detail, but it's a little bit true what I say. You live on the edge of, you could say, the eastern part of Western Europe.
Vă aflați
the eastern part of Western Europe.
Vă aflați la limita de est a Europei de vest.
Yeah, or the west part of east.
Sau la vestul estului lumii.
And I brought a little movie for you.
V-am adus un filmuleț.
And that's exactly about that east and west part.
Care vorbește exact despre est și vest.
It's not east which should be the highest.
Nu este estul care ar trebui să fie cel mai sus.
It's not the west that should be the highest.
Nici vestul care ar trebui să fie cel mai sus.
We should use the full potential of both.
Ar trebui să utilizăm întregul potențial al amândurora, și al estului și al vestului.
And of course, that's the same with we have the east. They are a bit more focused on the intuition part, for instance.
E adevărat că avem estul puțin mai focalizat pe intuiție.
In the west we are a bit more focused on a beautiful mind.
Pe când vestul este mai degrabă focalizat pe rațional, pe...
Okay, I'm going to emit some color tonight. I'm going to emit. Is that an expression, to emit color, to tell my opinion?
Ok. Am să-mi exprim părerea, culoarea mea.
You don't need to agree again. You don't need
Nu
to
trebuie
agree.
să fiți de acord cu ea.
But Einstein, our great scientist,
Einstein,
he said that we created a society. We created a society
spunea că am creat o societate
where our intellect,
unde intelectul nostru
has become the master.
a devenit stăpânul.
Yeah. If you look now in Holland, in business world, who is in crisis.
Sorry, can you...
The business world is in crisis in
În
Holland.
Olanda, lumea afacerilor este în plină criză.
And what we're going to do is we make more protocols.
Și ceea ce ne-am propus să facem acolo este să facem mai multe protocole,
more checklists,
mai multe liste de verificare.
Everybody's in fear because maybe my bank is going to crash next year too.
Toată lumea se teme că multe din marile bănci vor intra în criza anul următor,
So nobody look at the real problem anymore.
Nimeni nu se uită, nu se mai uită la adevărata problemă.
We defend ourselves. Look, I made the checklist. Look, I did it. I checked the 20 points.
Ne acoperim cu checklist-uri și ne considerăm absolviți de orice răspundere.
And I'm a big fan of our intellect.
Și suntem fanii intelectului nostru, raționalității noastre. Dom'le, am verificat tot. Ce poate să mi se întâmple?
But not if it becomes a master like this.
Dar?
Not if it becomes the master like in this example.
Nu dacă...
A devenit stăpânul care...
It should be in balance with the intuition, with the heart.
Exact, nu trebuie să ne lăsăm stăpâniți de acest aspect.
Let me take the metaphor. You have, or if we go for the oil, if we go for oil, we want to get oil out of the ground. Oil.
Ok, am să utilizez o metaforă. Dacă încercăm să săpăm după petrol,
we need oil.
Avem nevoie de petrol.
And we need pipeline.
Și avem nevoie și de conducte.
If the intellect is just the master, if it is only the master
Dacă doar
intellect,
intelectul ne conduce și ne stăpânește,
what I see in the world of economy,
ceea ce putem vedea în economie,
we create everywhere pipeline.
nu vom face decât să creăm o rețea de conducte.
If the heart is just in control, just intuition,
Dacă, în schimb, predăm controlul inimii și intuiției,
we create everywhere oil.
vom ajunge să creăm petrol.
Oil, you could say, in my metaphor, is the spirit, is the energy.
Unde, de fapt, prin asta vedem energia, spiritul de care avem nevoie.
And the pipeline is to regulate it, the protocols, the handbooks, all how we need to organize, to plan, to structure.
Din punct de vedere economic, dacă ne axăm pe intelect, vom vedea doar conductele care vor canaliza petrolul pe care îl extragem, pe când dacă ne gândim la intuiție, ne interesează energia de care avem nevoie și pe când conductele sunt restricțiile, regulile pe care le impunem ca să putem canaliza această energie.
And it needs to be in balance. It needs to be in balance.
Ori acestea trebuie să ajungă să fie în echilibru.
And that is the essence of this little move. Is it okay? We go 5 minutes for the move?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah? Okay.
Just a moment to... Da?
Our Western worldview tends to be characterized by fragmentation and distraction. We see borders between countries, between cultures, between hopes and beliefs. We see a difference between our mind and body, between you, me, nature and the objects. This fragmented view pervades in the way we organize our lives as well. When we are at work, we are thinking of our next holiday destination.
Or maybe no internet.
Yeah.
No. No, yeah. I think you got the message.
Îți dau 3G, 4G?
En otherwise we skip it. Oh, we try.
Our Western worldview tends to be characterized by fragmentation and distraction. We see borders between countries, between cultures, between hopes and beliefs. We see a difference between our mind and body, between you, me, nature and the objects. This fragmented view pervades in the way we organize our lives as well. When we are at work, we are thinking of our next holiday destination. On holiday, we're thinking about work. And when we're eating, we are watching television. And when we're trying to sleep, we think about our to-do list for tomorrow. To physically compensate for this unhealthy way of living, we go for a long run. But while we are running, we turn on our MP3 player not to be disturbed by our own thoughts. And when we travel by public transport, we do the exact same, yet not to be disturbed by others. Along the way, we are trying to avoid the many thousands and mostly irrelevant ads that are trying to distract us. Meanwhile, we're alienating from each other, are facing issues of greed and inequality. Our quest for meaning in the 21st century has never felt bigger. On the one side, this fragmented worldview is caused by our language, which has a subject-verb-object structure that forces us to think in dualities. On the other side, And ever since the ancient Greeks, we have developed the scientific method as the only reliable means of finding the truth. Its premises are that any experiment should be intersubjectively testable, quantifiable, and linguistically expressible. This has led us to gear our attention towards the external world as opposed to the internal world. Now, there are some other forces that have been distracting us from taking this inward journey. Throughout the ages, we have been busy colonizing and exploiting new continents, enjoying the riches of this life with industrial and technological revolutions, or our latest, space travel. Somehow it looks like we are afraid to face ourselves, to see what's left without all the distractions. But at the same time, this is the main challenge for the 21st century: ourselves. Now, there are two ways of knowing. The first is through rational thinking, and it is perfect for achieving a chosen end through analysis, but it renders the world as a bunch of fragmented and meaningless objects. The second is meditative thinking, or intuitive knowing. It tends to see the world as a whole and doesn't search for that absolute truth, but gives a sense of subjective meaningfulness. It is, however, useless in carrying out practical affairs. Now, both ways of knowing are complementary and absolutely necessary, but it seems that Western man has identified mostly with rational knowing and has neglected intuitive knowing as a source of knowledge. So let's focus on intuitive knowing a bit more. It has always formed the fundament of Eastern traditions. They acknowledge that language is incapable of portraying reality. Language is a map which we shouldn't confuse with the actual territory. Nature, in essence, doesn't know these distinctions at all, but it is part of one big resonating frequency field in which everything influences everything else. This oneness is called the Tao in Taoism, Dharmakaya in Buddhism, Brahman in Hinduism, and the unified field in quantum theory. This natural